What's good? It's your boy Jay, that's me. Let's dive into Smackdown for September the 22nd, 2023. A pretty okay to decent show for the most part. It was decent. I thoroughly enjoyed watching Smackdown. A little bit of news and note. LA Knight is out because he had a medical condition, aka C19. So we wish him all the best, and we wish him a speedy recovery. And hopefully he'll be back on next week's edition of Smackdown, because Fastlane is in 2 weeks. So hopefully he makes a speedy recovery. We kicked the show off with John Cena. He welcomes us to another sold-out episode of Friday Night Smackdown. He talks about being a host, a special guest referee, a talk show guest, and a backstage correspondent. Since returning, he says tonight is different. He didn't come to host or referee tonight. Tonight is the night, but he would like to have a match. So Cena asked the fans for permission for a match tonight. He gets it. He says in addition to being excited tonight, he talks about being pissed off. He talks about finding himself a phenomenal partner for his tag match tonight. So then AJ Styles' music hits and he comes out. So AJ Styles gets in the ring with John Cena and asks if he's got this right. He says the WWE Universe wants him and Cena to team up tonight. He finds out they do from their responses. He tells the Bloodline to bring it on. Then out comes Jimmy Uso. His theme song hits, which is pretty okay, along with Solo Sikoa. So Jimmy and Solo stare down Cena and Styles. And then they both jump down from the ring apron and head to the back. So that was fine there. Pretty good little stuff there. AJ Styles and John Cena as a tag team, I'm fine with. So this is basically setting up stuff for Fastlane. So let's lead this into Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar, a.k.a. the LWO, versus the Street Profits. Pretty decent little match here. Towards the end of the match, Bobby Lashley gets involved, does a Uranagi to Rey on the ring apron. And Montez Ford not Montez Ford, but Angelo Dawkins was about to powerbomb him, but he hesitates, and Rey Mysterio then rolls him up. This pisses off Bobby Lashley. He's irate as fuck. And he's extremely pissed at the Street Profits. He looks at him, he looks at them, he scowls at them, and he just dips out. I'm like, wow. Like, I loved it. Like, I thought it was great. This was beautifully done here. Beautifully done here. So, great stuff there. Moving on. So, we see footage of The Rock and Pat McAfee from last week beating up Austin Theory, which was great. And then, I don't know where Austin Theory appears at the commentary table. He gets in the faces of all the commentators. He talks trash off mic until security pulls him away. He starts tearing the United Stable apart and everything. I think he splashed water on Michael Cole's face, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he did that. So that was pretty cool there. And then Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are backstage with Adam Pearce. So the Brawling Brutes, they approach them. And the two sides, they basically go back and forth. And Adam Pearce makes a match between the two for later on in the night. This is great. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Really good shit there. Continuing on. This leads us into the Street Profits being threatened by Bobby Lashley. So, they're in the locker room, and Bobby Lashley is irate. So he lashes out at Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins after losing. He said even with his help, to beat Rey Mysterio, even with his help, they still couldn't defeat Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar. So the Almighty lays down the law and says, by telling them, if they don't make things right after losing tonight, he wants the suits back, he wants the clothes back, he's going to change his mind and focus on somebody else, and they can hang out in catering. I'm like, damn. Yo, I was like, damn, Bobby's not playing. So, Bobby kind of reminds me of of Gunther to an extent, where he doesn't want, he doesn't like failure. He wants this to be a dominant faction, and I like it. He's showing the Street Profits a little bit of tough love, which is great, and it makes perfect sense. So this should light a massive fire under their asses, and they should be able to get shit done now, hopefully. But this is great. This is excellent storytelling by Lashley. This is great. I loved it. Because if the Street Profits don't hold up their end of the bargain, then who would Lashley go after? I don't know. Interesting, though. Next, this leads us into Iyo Sky versus Asuka for the WWE Women's Championship. Very solid match. We got a really good video package hyping both of them up. That was great. I love that. I enjoyed that. Very good shit there. But before we get into the match, we see a shot of Paul Heyman talking into his phone. When he's approached by Adam Pearce, we don't hear anything that they say at all. So then this leads us into Asuka and Iyo, and they did well together. They gelled perfectly together. They went into the kitchen, made some decent wrestling magic, and I kind of want to see it again. So towards the end of the match, Bayley started to get involved, and out of nowhere, Charlotte, of all people, came out and got involved, and she took out Bayley, and this allowed for Iyo to retain being the moonsault for the 1, 2, 3. So this makes perfect sense. They're probably going to be setting up Iyo and Charlotte at Fastlane, or they may do a triple threat, maybe. I don't know. Or we could get another match between between Asuka and Iyo Sky. I hope they do Asuka and Iyo Sky again. And then maybe after Fastlane, maybe at Crown Jewel, which is on November 4th, maybe we get Charlotte and Iyo at Crown Jewel, and that's when Charlotte will win the title, and then WWE cover going to set up between Bianca and Charlotte at WrestleMania. That's probably where all things are going to be headed, if we're being honest and objective. Because that is a money match. I mean, you guys know I don't like Charlotte all too much, but that is a money match, if we're being honest. Moving on. So, we go to backstage where we see Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, and Paul Heyman in the Bloodline locker room. So Adam Pearce comes in and hesitantly presents Paul Heyman with some papers. Heyman says everything is cool as long as the match isn't tonight. Adam Pearce says it's not, and that'll be at Fastlane. So Paul Heyman asked who agreed to this. Who agreed to that? The Jimmy Uso speaks up on behalf of the Bloodline and says they accept and that they'll be out to sign the contracts in the ring. So then Pierce walks off. So Heyman then asked Jimmy who gave him the okay to accept that. He said this is normally something that would be cleared first by the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Jimmy just smiles and says, let me know what he says, and then he walks off. And then Solo, after Jimmy leaves, tells Paul Heyman not to worry because there won't be anyone to fight at Fastlane after the night. And then Heyman nervously says, call Roman Reigns. So pretty cool stuff there. And then we got the actual wrestling main event of the show, which was the Brawling Brutes, Butch and Ridge Holland versus Austin Theory and Grayson Waller in a very, very good match. Very solid match. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller get the win via the rolling stunner into the A-Town down for the 1, 2, 3. I enjoyed that. Now, Grayson Waller needs to stop doing that rolling stunner. I would just do a regular stunner, but Kevin Owens is using that right now. So I see why he does the rolling stunner. But it made sense. So, we then head to the contract signing, the final segment of the show. So Adam Pearce is in the ring. He introduces the greatest of all time, a.k.a. John Cena. Cena heads to the ring, wastes no time picking up the pin, signing the contract without saying a word. So AJ Styles tries to come out next, but then we cut to backstage. So Jimmy Uso is beating down AJ Styles. He's attacking him and everything else. And then Solo is standing several feet up in the air on the ledge of something. So Jimmy continues beating down AJ Styles, and then Solo leaps and does a splash onto what's left of AJ Styles. John Cena sprints from the ring and heads to the back. But by the time he gets there, it's too late. Solo and Jimmy are gone. Officials are attending to Styles. And then we come back from commercial. AJ Styles is loaded up into a stretcher backstage. So we head back to the arena. We see Jimmy and Solo and Paul Heyman make their way to the ring. So Jimmy Uso talks about how they're going to put John Cena in a stretcher before all is said and done as well. And then Cena makes his way out. So he's beaten down by Solo and Jimmy Uso. So they beat him down badly and they leave him laying. They signed a contract for Fastlane. And then that was it. So they do like 2 Samoan splashes, a couple of Samoan spikes. Like they whooped John Cena's ass pretty bad. Really good stuff there, though. I thought LA Knight was going to come out and make the save, but it didn't happen. Again, he's dealing with C19. So maybe he helps Cena next week. If not LA Knight, then I could see Randy Orton making his return to help. I think that would be good. I forgot to mention a little bit of news and note, but I'll do that in a separate video, is that Matt Riddle has been released by WWE. I'll talk about that. And there are supposed to be some more releases over the weekend. I'll just do that in a separate video. I'll talk about all the releases. If they do happen over the weekend, I'll just do a separate video on that. But Matt Riddle has been released and let go from his WWE contract. That's all I'm going to say on it. I'll go a little bit in depth when I make the video about what I think Matt Riddle should do. But overall, Smackdown itself was decent. I enjoyed Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Great tag team there. The Bloodline stuff is okay. I'm glad they took out AJ Styles and John Cena. That was pretty cool. We probably won't see Roman until Crown Jewel anyway, so he probably will show up maybe 2 weeks before Crown Jewel. Maybe LA Knight will be John Cena's new partner after they took out AJ Styles. If not LA Knight, probably Randy Orton, more than likely, making his return. So we got some options there. But overall, SmackDown was decent for the most part. But what did you guys think? Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe for more videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.